What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and stop asking me about this watch, all right? Can you just quit it? Because after my last Field Watch episode that I released, I think Monday of this week, everyone was like, oh, what's the watch on his wrist? Hey, he was hiking around and he had the really cool watch on, blah, 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 blah. I understand that I have a bunch of new subscribers, so you may have not seen the review on this piece, but once and for all, I'm just going to nip it in the bud. This is my Vero Workhorse that I've done a full review on. I'll leave it in the description below. I'll leave a link to that review. But this is a beautiful watch, 150 meter water resistance rating. It is a Mecha Quartz, does have a chronograph complication, dual threaded crowns, internal rotating, timing bezel, Cerakote case, sapphire crystal, some really decent lume, and a bull bar, so it protects that sapphire crystal. This is an incredibly durable watch, and again, I love that it's a Mecha Quartz because I can bump it around, and I can just be a little bit more rough with this than one of my mechanical field watches, so I absolutely love it. You can see it's actually still a bit kind of dirty on the crystal there because, it just came back from being outdoors. Now, I wore this watch when I was out doing a shoot in Joshua Tree for one of my newest projects. For my longtime viewers, you will remember this series kind of being mentioned very early on in my YouTube career. It was something that I wanted to try, but now we're going full bore, bringing it back over on the T3 Time to Drive channel. You will see this watch and a bunch of other gear that I use. So please enjoy a kind of little teaser episode of Time Away on T3 Time to Drive, posted here on the Time Teller channel. Confusing, right? Whatever. Clip it. Welcome to Joshua Tree National Park, a mesmerizing fusion of two distinct desert ecosystems, the Colorado and the Mojave. Here, iconic Joshua trees stand tall against the backdrop of incredible rock formations, star-studded skies, and timeless landscapes. It's no wonder that millions of people flood this area every single year to take advantage of all this beautiful park has to offer. I've personally made a ton of great memories here around Joshua Tree. Hiking, hitting the trails, taking photos, and just laying out under the stars, the high desert is easily one of my favorite places to be. But unfortunately for some, it's not as enjoyable. On today's episode of Time Away, we venture into the mysteries of Joshua Tree National Park, where nature's splendor intertwines with tragic stories of missing persons. Our main focus, the heartbreaking tale of Rachel Wynn and Joseph Orbeso. In the summer of 2017, a young couple, Rachel Wynn and Joseph Orbeso, decided to embark on a journey into Joshua Tree National Park. Their day trip took a tragic turn when they went missing. Joshua Tree National Park encompasses nearly 800,000 acres in southeastern California. While its landscapes captivate visitors from around the world, the vast wilderness is also unforgiving and at times deadly.
Two hikers whose bodies were found locked in an embrace reportedly may have killed themselves in what is being called a sympathetic murder-suicide.
For nearly 3 months, search parties aided by helicopters, canine units, even drones scoured the park. The vastness and complexity of the terrain made the search a daunting task.
A park ranger was quoted as saying, "The terrain is challenging. One wrong turn and you can easily become disoriented." And guys, I can tell you from standing here right now, pretty much everything looks the same. Now, that's not to say this isn't a beautiful plot of land, right? This national park is incredibly captivating, and there's a whole lot of photography and cinematography opportunities, a lot of things to look at. But the truth is, if you're not familiar with what you're doing, and you don't have a map, you don't have a compass, you don't have a GPS, the further in you go, the further in you get. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say, we parked Giorgio, the Geo, on the side of the road here. We hiked up to this formation to film. If we kept going further and further and further away from where we parked, everything starts looking the same. The Joshua trees are all dispersed, looking the same. The rock formations are kind of looking the same. So then we say, hey, you know what? Let's go back to Giorgio. Turn around, we go. Where's Giorgio? We're actually going deeper and deeper and deeper into the Joshua Tree National Park. That's what tends to happen. When people get lost, they tend to try to backtrack, and they usually end up going further into the area they're trying to get out of. So most experts say that when you are lost, you should stay in place and wait for people to find you. Now, I'm not going to try to give you any advice other than please be prepared.
But difficult terrain aside, in October came a bittersweet discovery. The bodies of Rachel and Joseph were found. They were lying in an embrace, each shot to death.
They say no note was left explaining why the shooting occurred, but family members reportedly said the pair ran out of water.
It's believed that the couple got lost and struggled in the blistering heat. As water supplies dwindled, they found shade beneath a tree where they made the ultimate sacrifice to stay close till the end. Authorities suspect Joseph shot Rachel before shooting himself.
It helps knowing that she wasn't suffering alone. Joseph was there till her last breath. It was an act of compassion. We hold no ill will with Joseph or his family.
Tragically, Rachel and Joseph aren't the only souls who have vanished in Joshua Tree National Park. Over the years, the park has seen numerous missing person cases. In 2018, Canadian citizen Paul Miller went missing in Joshua Tree. Him and his wife had planned a quick morning hike before heading home. Paul decided to hike the 49 Palms Oasis Trail, which is 3 miles round trip and generally considered moderately difficult. His wife waited for him in the car, but Paul never returned. After an extensive search operation, he still was not found, and it wasn't until December 2019 that his remains were discovered. In 2017, a man named Michael Rodriguez went missing after telling his family he was headed to Joshua Tree. Despite multiple searches, Rodriguez was not found until February 2018 when his remains were discovered. The cause of his disappearance and death remains a mystery. Perhaps one of the more eerie stories is back from 2010. A man named Bill Owasco traveled from Georgia to Joshua Tree for a solo hiking trip. He'd planned multiple routes and communicated them to his girlfriend. When he did not return, she notified the authorities, prompting a search. His car was found, but Bill was nowhere. To date, Bill's whereabouts remain unknown. Today we remember not just Rachel and Joseph, but all of those who have found themselves lost within the embrace of Joshua Tree. These tragic tales serve as a poignant reminder of the unpredictability of nature. While the beauty of Joshua Tree continues to attract visitors, it's essential to remember and respect its vastness, complexity, and power. If you do get lost, the U.S. Forest Service recommends you stop, think, observe, and plan. They also have some self-rescue tips on the fs.usda.gov website that I will link in the description below. Please stay safe out there, guys, and please be prepared. And now, a quick thank you to those who made this series possible. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed the first installment of the return of Time Away, only on T3 Time to Drive. And I know this is a car channel, right? So people are going to be wondering about the gear that I keep in the vehicles that I drive for these shoots. And I first wanted to bring up the vehicle that we used in this episode, Giorgio, the 1990 Geo Tracker 4x4 two-door with the tin top. It's easily one of my favorite vehicles I've ever owned, and we've only had it for less than a month. We acquired the vehicle and we built it. It already has all the maintenance done, 2-inch lift, and about 30-inch tires. We couldn't have done any of this without our sponsors. So filming this stuff, producing it, getting it out there, and traveling to these locations cost money, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of other businesses and other people that believe in this project. So we're going to continue building that Geo, and we're going to bring you along with that whole entire process, but we're going to be using that as one of the main vehicles to go do these shoots. Speaking of traveling outside the city to do these shoots, there's certain things that I really feel are necessities that I keep on my person and in our vehicles that, you know, just give me that extra peace of mind and make me feel confident and safe. And the first thing I would bring up is something like this, okay? You know you need food and water and, you know, clothing to keep you warm or to keep the sun off your back. Those are necessities. But spending a couple $100s on a Garmin unit like this with GPS and then a very affordable subscription to keep this SOS button running, kind of invaluable, right? So no matter where you are, if you find yourself in a pinch, you press that button and emergency services will be notified. There's a few things that other companies came in and pitched in so that we would feel, you know, that much safer and secure when we were out on the trail for this shoot. The first sponsor I would like to bring up is Blackfire. They are a company that makes gear for people that are outdoorsy, that like to go overlanding, off-roading, camping. The first thing we used to get those night shoots is actually this headlamp. This thing is heavy duty, weatherproof, crazy lumens, and it is USB-C rechargeable. All right, so no futzing with batteries. And then to go along with that, I use this crazy heavy duty flashlight, and again, USB-C rechargeable, and it seals the charging port so that this is weatherproof. And this has a bunch of different light modes. Goes bright white all the way to low light red. Very, very cool and super duper tough. And again, we use this all the time to check on the vehicles, to get the gear in and out of the vehicles at night, and to set up the camera and see what we're doing for the night shoots. So this type of stuff is super duper useful for these kinds of shoots. The next thing I wanted to bring up is our sponsor, Vero Watch Co. So I've made multiple reviews on Vero watches over on the Time Teller channel. This is my Vero workhorse. I absolutely love this watch. Over 100 meter water resistance rating, dual threaded crowns, chronograph complications, sapphire crystal, Cerakote case, really comfortable Velcro textile, or I should say nylon strap. This thing is just incredibly durable, incredibly functional. I've knocked this around. I've dropped it from like face level onto pavement, and there's not even a real scratch on it, and it's because of this bull bar that they have. So it kind of just hit that bull bar and just bounced, and I picked it up and it's perfectly fine. So having a good watch, having some good, you know, techie equipment as far as flashlights go. Blackfire sent us a bunch of other things we're going to bring up in future installments of this, and having, you know, just things that keep you a little bit more confident when you're driving around and going to places where not a lot of other people are. I'm very thankful that we have these things, and what I was going to say is it's worthwhile spending the money and picking up some of this stuff. We couldn't have done anything for this series, The Return of Time Away, without these sponsors, and we have more sponsors that we're going to bring up in the future. We listed some at the beginning of the episode, but I just wanted to thank them, and I wanted to tell you to check them out and support the people that support me. If you want to go above and beyond and support this channel, because we're not quite monetized yet, we did make a Patreon, and I'll leave a link to the description below. We're going to talk about cars, we're going to talk about different time away subjects, because again, we're kind of crossing over into not just driving, but kind of exploring. And so yeah, if you want to support the channel, Patreon's the way to do it. We will leave it in the description below. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. I'm T3, and it's time to drive.
All right, guys, and there you have it. That's my new series, Time Away. And again, I tried to do this series years and years and years ago, but I just didn't have the resources to pull from. And now I'm in a position where I can kind of do more of these passion projects. And so if you enjoy this type of content, I'm going to be doing this all over the country. We're going to be going to places and telling stories, and It's going to be uploaded on the T3 Time to Drive channel since we're using vehicles to travel. We're going to talk about the vehicles that I'm using. And you'll also see a bunch of really cool watches. So I'll leave a link to that channel in the description below. And if you could subscribe and tell you that the Time Teller channel sent you, I would really appreciate it. All right, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.